is going to be a video of me reading this passage called I Saw Aliens from My Trampoline, and then I'm going to model some sequencing strategies. So when we sequence, that's when we put events in order of which they happened. So like if I were to sequence making a sandwich, I would say first you get your bread out, then you put what you want on the bread, then you put the sandwich together. You wouldn't say first you eat the sandwich, then you get the bread out. It doesn't make any sense. When we sequence, we put the events in order of when or how they should happen. Now this story is called I Saw Aliens from My Trampoline. And real quick, this was kind of long and I couldn't fit it on the screen, so I had to cut it in half. So we're gonna just pretend it's like a storybook. So over here, this first page, we read it all the way down and then go over here. And it's called I Saw Aliens from My Trampoline. Wow, look at that one, I said as my best friend Sarah and I jumped on the trampoline one hot summer night. It was after dark and we were looking at the stars. I thought I was living a normal life, and I was, until a couple nights later when we were on the trampoline again. We looked up and saw strange purplish light right above us. Are there any satellites that color? I asked as I started to get off the side of the trampoline. Sarah shook her head slowly. I stared straight at the light, then it got bigger. It seemed to come closer. Sarah leaped off the trampoline and we sprinted towards the house. We stopped when we were halfway there because the light got bigger and slowly it turned into an aircraft. It came closer and closer and slowly landed in her yard. Sarah, being the brave one, walked up to it. I stayed behind because I was scared. It looked like an alien spacecraft, but those aren't real. As Sarah walked up to it, the door at the base opened. Then faint pink glowing figures appeared in the doorway. They looked like the aliens on Men in Black. They practically glowed in the dark. My heart skipped a beat when one of the creatures raised its finger and pointed at me. Then it moved its fingers towards the craft. I wasn't sure, but I got the impression that they wanted me to go with them. I took a step forward. I felt their icy cold hands grip my shoulder and shove me in. Then I felt the ship shake and vibrate, and I got butterflies in my stomach as we lifted off. Up we went. I looked out the window and tried to get out, but it was no use. I peered out the window again and saw a planet. I figured it was Mars. Then I felt the ship's familiar shake again. It slowed down and stopped. The door slowly opened again. The aliens pushed me out. I stepped out onto the mushy ground. Then I realized something was wrong. Humans can't breathe the air in space. I dreaded my next breath, but I had to take it. I breathed in and felt my body grow weak. Then I woke up. So it was like a silly dream. Now, if we look over here, it gives us a list of events, and it wants us to put them in the order that they happen by labeling them 1 through 6. So my strategy for this, and I have 6 events, so I'm going to get 6 colors, and I'm going to underline each sentence a different color. Oops. I'll make that one green, then blue. We'll do a dark blue maybe, and a pink. Okay. So now that each one of these has their own color, we're going to take that same color, so like my first one's red, I'm going to look for this in the passage and underline it red when I find it. So I need to find whenever they noticed a strange color in the sky. So if I go back to it, I'm just going to quickly look for when they saw a strange color in the sky. And it might not be exactly word for word, but as long as it's like the same general sentence, that's okay. Ooh, we looked up and saw a strange purplish light right above us. That could count as a strange color in the sky. So I'm going to underline that red. Now my next one, and this one is my yellow one. The aircraft landed in their yard, so I'm going to look back and look for when the aircraft landed. And I know from right here that they hadn't seen the aircraft yet, so it's not going to come before it. I'm going to keep looking for it. Sarah leaped off the trampoline and we sprinted towards the house. When we stopped when we were halfway there because the light got bigger and bigger, and slowly it turned into an aircraft. It came closer and closer and slowly landed in her yard. Oh, there we go. My next one will be green. The author jumps on the trampoline for the first time. So when it says the author, it means whoever's telling the story. I don't remember when that happened, so I'm going to start back at the beginning and look for it. Wow, look at that one. I said, as my best friend Sarah and I jumped on the trampoline one hot summer night. Oh, well, there it is. I jumped on the trampoline one hot summer night. Now my fourth thing, I made it like a light blue. The author awoke from their dream. Oh, well, I can tell you right away that that was at the very end because that was the last sentence. It doesn't directly say that the author was dreaming, but right here where it says they woke up, that lets you know that this whole story was fake. They were just sleeping. I need a darker blue. One of the creatures points at the author. Now I know that's going to have to come after the aircraft landed, so I'm going to look after this one. Sarah, being brave, walked up to it. I stayed behind because I was scared. That's not there. As Sarah walked up to it, the door base opened. Then a faint, pink, glowing figure appeared in the doorway. They looked like the aliens on Men in Black. They practically glowed in the dark. My heart skipped a beat when one of the creatures raised its finger and pointed at me. There we go. Last one's my pink one. The two characters get off of the trampoline. So I'm going to look for that one. Wow, look at that one. I said as my best friend. Okay, that's when they were jumping on the trampoline. I thought I was living a normal life, then I was until a couple nights later when we were on the trampoline again. We looked up and saw a strange purplish light right above us. Are there any satellites that color? I asked as I started to get off the side of the trampoline. Oh, got off the side of the trampoline. Perfect. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is not really read it again, but we're going to pretend like we are, and whenever we get to a color, that'll be the first thing in our story. So if I move like this, pretending like I'm reading, oh, I hit the green event first, so I know the green one is number 1. So that'll get number 1. And if I keep going again until I hit the next color, oh, red. So that'll be number 2. And I keep going again, pink. Number 3. Keep going. And yellow. So yellow is my 4th one. And oh, my dark blue one will be my 5th. Which means light blue should be last, and yeah, there it is. So if I read these in the order that I numbered them, it should match with the story we just read. So I will do that. Number 1, the author jumps on the trampoline for the first time. They notice a strange color in the sky. The two characters get off of the trampoline. The aircraft landed in their yard. Then one of the creatures pointed at the author, and then the author woke up from their dream. Yep, that makes sense. So when you're doing your own sequencing activities, I recommend doing it with the colors because it's very easy to see what events come first. So when you do your sequencing activity, I hope you try this strategy out.